Republicans are now claiming both some kind of vindication and some kind of cover up because President Joe Biden has ordered a closer intelligence review of the origins of the COVID-19 virus and pandemic. And Biden revealed that earlier this year, per CNBC, he asked the intelligence community to assess, did it emerge from human contact with an infected animal, or did it emerge from a laboratory accident? Increasingly, there are more and more people saying we need to study whether this was man-made. And it's really important to understand that these are different ideas and that there is not a current belief that COVID was man-made. And in fact, if it were, based on the best medical science I've read, it would have a different sort of signature that would be noticeable when you examine the virus. Now, let's really understand what is going to be examined here, which I think is great. And by the way, those claiming that the left never wanted to look at this, go talk to the people who said that. I have said from the very beginning, investigate everything. We want truth. I want truth. But regardless, the idea persists that the left doesn't want to know the truth. I very much want to know the truth. So option one, contact spread to humans from an animal to humans, likely in Wuhan, and spread from there. Scenario number two, this came from an animal and was being studied in a lab, possibly in Wuhan, and due to an accident, it leaked and spread there to the worldwide human population. And then you have scenario three, the most conspiratorial and the one for which we have no evidence, which is this was some kind of a human-made bioweapon that was deliberately released into the wild by China. Now, that first piece doesn't really pass the sniff test, in part because it has been so damaging, not only to China, but to other countries around China, that China has no reason to try to go after. So the U.S.-centric nationalist view is China would have been motivated to do this in order to attack the U.S. Most of the deaths have been elsewhere. I think globally, officially, there are about 3.5, 3.6 million COVID deaths. And in the U.S., there's officially 600,000. That means that 5/6 of the deaths were elsewhere and many in China. Would be a very, very strange thing to do. Now, as a reminder, the Biden administration has been okay investigating this for a long time. Here is White House Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre 2 days ago saying the Biden administration has not ruled anything out and is open to exploring further.
Another question on COVID. The language that you all use specifically mentioned an accident. Does that mean that you've ruled out, or the IC has ruled out, that it was deliberate or not an accident?
We haven't ruled out anything yet. Again, we're going to go through this, this redoubling down of a 90-day review, and we'll have more to share.
But yet, the idea will not go away that Joe Biden doesn't want to investigate this. Remember, this is from earlier this week. We looked at these clips. This is from Monday. Here is Peter Doocy from Fox News asking White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, but why won't Joe Biden look into it? What will it take for him to look into it?
Investigation.
But with 589,920 dead Americans, at what point does President Biden say, we don't want to wait for the WHO. We don't know what they're doing. This needs to be an American-led effort to get to the bottom of what happened?
Well, first of all, we need access to the underlying data and information in order to have that investigation.
And why not? But he talks all the time about how he's known President Xi for a long time. So why can't he just call
and we need
ask
them
him for that information?
I think you're misunderstanding how this process actually works. An international investigation led by the World Health Organization is something that we've actually been pressing for several months in coordination with a range of partners around the world. We need that data. We need that information from the Chinese government. What we can't do, and what I would caution anyone doing, is leaping ahead of an actual international process. We don't have enough data and information to jump to a conclusion at this point in time.
So is there any amount of casualties from COVID in this country that would make you want to not wait for an international effort and just do it as...
Well, I have to say, I think the family members of the loved ones whose lives have been lost and deserve accurate information, data, not the jumping to a conclusion without having the information necessary to conclude what the origins are. What we do share, everyone in this country, is a desire to know how this started, where it started, and prevent it from ever happening again. That's something we all share. Go ahead.
And then, not satisfied, I guess, with that answer, asking the same question on Tuesday and getting a very similar answer.
Does President Biden think these theories we hear more about now, that COVID-19 may have been man-made and escaped from a lab in China, are a wacky conspiracy theory, or based on what he has heard and been briefed on, does he think that's possible?
Well, we went through this journey together yesterday, so let's do it again. So the president believes there needs to be an independent investigation, one that's run by the international community. It's an international pandemic that has killed hundreds of thousands of people around the world. He believes the Chinese need to do more to put forward data, to be more transparent. And in the second phase of this effort, he's certainly hopeful that will be the case. And he believes that every theory should be explored through that process, but that we shouldn't jump to conclusions before that data and that information is made available.
Thank you. And on the rise.
So listen, there's really no reason not to do this. Whether or not it was engineered, as some conspiracists claim, although we have no evidence for that at this point in time, why wouldn't we want to find out more about the origins of an infectious disease that became a global pandemic, completely overtook us, and created the chaos that it did over the last 16, 17 months? So again, the best science I've read is that had it been engineered by humans, it could not have been done with any of the known tools of genetic manipulation. Okay? When you use the known tools for genetic manipulation, they leave evidence in the genome. That's not there. So again, applying some sort of Occam's razor here, if this was engineered, it was engineered in a way that it was done with heretofore unknown methods such that that engineering is unable to be detected. That's a big leap, and we don't have any evidence of that. Investigate it. Investigate it. Wuhan was researching bat-borne coronaviruses and classifying them and looking at mutation rates and behaviors. So is it possible a tech got scratched while they were working with these samples? It's plausible, certainly, and it should be investigated. The wet market hypothesis from the beginning, quite plausible. Let's investigate it. But the idea, the fake scandal now that the right is trying to create, that the left is unwilling to explore it, or that the left is covering it up, or that this is somehow Dr. Fauci's fault. He was involved in the creation to then make money from the solution. There is no evidence for any of those things. And absent that evidence, we should just be saying, investigate, do an investigation. Now, I saw a couple kind of weird comments from some claiming to be on the left saying the lab leak hypothesis is racist because it implies that Chinese scientists are just incompetent. Come on, guys. We're getting nowhere with that trash. Okay. Accidents can happen anywhere. For all we know, it's not even all Chinese scientists that were working in that lab. It's that we're going down a really dumb path to say even exploring this is racist, even raising the question is racist. That's nuts. Assuming that it was any of these things, though, until we actually have some evidence, that's also not going to make any sense to me. Send me your thoughts. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. This is it, guys. Monday, Memorial Day. It's time for the one-day membership special, okay? We will do a one-day huge membership discount on the last day of May and on federal holiday Memorial Day. If you want to get on the list to be notified, just get on my newsletter at davidpakman.com. One of our sponsors today is Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence when it's time, all you have to do is take a short quiz on their website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription. The medication comes straight to your home within days in a discreet package. No driving around to the doctor's office or the pharmacy. No waiting around. No awkward conversations with your doctor. All of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. The entire process is just a few clicks. Go to BlueChew.com. The link is underneath this video. They'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use the promo code Pakman. All you have to do is pay $5 shipping.